Okay, we're going to try something a little bit different today. I want to go through and do the third data analysis assignment, and I'm going to do it blind. So I haven't looked at this assignment yet. And so, yeah, we'll see what ends up happening if I work through this just from scratch, just like you would. So let me share my screen. Okay. So we'll start the assignment now. Okay, great. So this first one, it says, okay, partial year depreciation. So this is great. We've done depreciation questions before. So equipment carried at a cost of 86,000. Again, your numbers will be different, just like all the assignments has an estimated residual value of 5,000, estimated useful life of 10 years, placed in service on May 1st of the current year, which ends December 31st. This information has been collected in a Microsoft Excel online file. Okay, so this is very similar to some of the problems we've done in the homeworks. And so this should be pretty straightforward. It's just here they're giving us a template to start with. Okay, so we can look at it and say, okay, let's look at depreciation, straight line method, and double declining balance method. So this is a good review of these methods. So first thing they're looking for, okay, so all they're doing is determine the depreciation for the current fiscal year, for the following fiscal year, using the straight line method. So this should be easy. So using the straight line method, right? So we can take it and say, okay, normally what we would do is we would just take our total depreciable amount, right? So the depreciable amount is going, oops, our depreciable amount equal, oh, really? It's not going to let me do that? Okay, so we're going to have to do it all in one line here. I don't like that. So we could take our depreciable amount, which is our cost minus our residual value or our salvage value. Okay? And we divide that by the number of years. Okay. And so that'll give us our amount for a normal year. And so we're actually I'm gonna copy this because this should be our amount for a normal year, and year 2 will be a normal year. Okay. Come on. Okay. Sheet is protected. I get it. This sheet's protected. Okay. It's not going to let me cut and paste. Okay, so I have to do this again. So my normal year is going to be my cost minus my residual divided by the number of years. Okay. So, but for year 1, I have to recognize that I'm not doing the full amount in year 1, right? So I'm actually doing just a partial year. And so if it's starting in May, we have May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So 8/12. So we can multiply this by 8/12, and that should give us the partial year. So let's check these numbers first. So 5400, 8100. So let's check these. Okay, there we go. So next, determine the depreciation for the current fiscal year and for the following year by the double declining balance method. Oh, so there we go. So let's go do the double declining balance method. So if we remember the double declining balance method, we're taking twice the percentage that we would use in the normal, right? So with if we're 10 years useful life, right, that would mean that every year it would be 10%. But double decline balance means that we're going to use twice that, so 20%. So, okay, so we can do this equals, start out same thing, cost minus our residual. And then we are going to multiply this by 20%, so 0.2, okay? And then multiply it again, but this time we're multiplying it by the number of years. So we're only doing 8/12. Okay. So that would give us that. So 10,800. So let's make sure this is what they're looking for. It's not what they're looking for. Interesting. Using um so it's 10 years, right? So we take the 10-year useful life. So divided by 10 would be our straight line, right? So 100 divided by 10. This is interesting. 100 divided by 10. That would be 10. I wonder if they're doing the full year right here. 8,000. Oh, wait. But we need to multiply that by 2. So divided by 10 times 2. Okay. I don't think this is what they're doing, the 16,200. I don't think that's what they want, because that would be a full year's worth. Right now. And then we take this, multiply it by our 8/12. And 800, that's what I thought we had. Oh, you know what it is? With the double decline balance method, I'm pretty sure we're not actually taking off the residual, right? I think we might be just using the straight amount. 11,467. So we check that. Oh, there we go. See, that's a good reminder that when we're doing double decline balance method, the whole point is to depreciate as quick as possible, right? It's an accelerated depreciation method. And so we're going in here and we're saying, okay, we don't have to subtract the residual doing the whole cost amount. So we get so much of this depreciation in the first year. And so we remember that, right? So, okay, so we get to use double our normal depreciation percentage. So normal depreciation percentage would be, 100% divided by the number of years. So it would be 10% per year, but we're doubling that and doing 20% the first year. Okay. And it's off of the cost instead of off of the cost minus the residual. So that's a lot of depreciation we get to do in the first year. So that's great. Okay. So let's go through. And now the second year, this is a little bit harder, right? Because we are actually depreciating. We have to subtract it off of our initial amount. So what we do is to find out how much we're going to depreciate, we take our initial cost minus, we've already depreciated. Okay, so that's our accumulated depreciation. So minus our accumulated depreciation. We multiply that by our 20% that we're doing. Okay, so again, it's double the 10%. And this should give it, and we can only do this down to the residual, but we're still well above the residual. So 14,907. 14,907. So you check that work. So there. So here's a couple reminders. Yes, we get to use the full cost with the double decline balance method, which is really cool because we want to depreciate as fast as possible. Assuming you're a profitable company, you want to depreciate as fast as possible. And then the second year, though, we are using the initial cost minus our accumulated depreciation. Okay. Third year, again, it would be the initial cost minus the cumulative depreciation from the first 2 years. So I hope this is helpful and have a good day.